Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. 38th favorite dad in the family community, Papa West, Jacob West, here for another episode of TMG Takes the Field. It has been a couple weeks. I have been super busy. I am sorry. But I am back for a very exciting episode. Why is it exciting? Because we had a lot of stuff happen today. Quite a bit of crazy stuff happened today. Of course, some stuff that I didn't think would happen that did happen. And then, of course, because it's been 2 weeks, 3 weeks, however long it's been, a lot of stuff has happened since then and there. So we'll talk about it. Let's just get right into it. Breaking news. I do have two things I want to talk about a lot. Of course, we know what is happening with Russia and Ukraine. Almost every YouTube channel, news channel has spoken in tremendous support of Ukraine. We're not going to talk about that. What we are going to talk about is Brittany Griner is formerly Baylor superstar for their college basketball team. Then went to the WNBA, and I don't know what team she played for because I don't follow that. It is reported that she is being held in a Russian prison. Reportedly, she's been there for a while. Of course, Russia is not telling us anything, so we don't know how long she's been there. I know we know why. I forgot to look it up. But we do definitely send out thoughts and prayers to Brittany to be able to get out of that situation, get back home to America, and be safe. That's just basically it. Just be safe. And screw Russia. There, I said it. That's all I'm talking about with that. Next, we're going to move on to former Jackson State Tigers football coach, former current, and NFL Hall of Famer Dion Sanders, having some issues. He recently had a surgery. I believe it was something for his leg, but he started developing blood clots from it. And it is reported that he has had to have 2 toes on his left foot amputated. Not great news coming out of that. Good news that he's okay. I do know a lot, I have had a lot of history with blood clots with my ex-wife, and they are not fun. Right after our first daughter, second child was born, Ashley started developing some really bad blood clotting issues, and it was a weird time for really since, because you never know what's going to happen. Glad to hear he's living, because that's very, very easy for one of those blood clots to just break off, go right into your heart, and that will kill someone very quickly. So definitely thoughts and prayers to both Brittany and Dion. That is it for sad news. Now we're going to get into happy news with the NBA. Hopefully super happy. Biggest news, of course, when we talked about the trade deadline, we did hear that Ben Simmons was being traded from the Philadelphia 76ers to the Brooklyn Nets. He still has not played with the team, citing back issues, personal health stuff. It is reported that he should be on the bench starting when they play Philadelphia. That is coming up in like a week, I believe. Let me see if I can find the exact date. No, I can't. I mean, I can definitely scroll through and find it, but I'm not going to. I do know that game is coming up very, very soon. And hopefully that means he can actually start playing. Other news, Zion Williamson is reportedly joining the team. He's been out the entire season due to injuries as well. So hopefully we can see him, especially if they make a push. Because I've been lying to you this entire NBA season. There are 10 teams who make it to the playoffs. They have the play-in game that I forgot because I'm an idiot. Or they have the play-in tournament. Jonathan, don't break my breaking news. It's NFL stuff. We'll talk about that. and I'll get your comment on here. So each conference has 10 teams. Of course, the 7 and 8 seed play each other. The winner is the 7 seed in the playoffs. The loser plays the winner of the 9 and 10 seed game. Winner of that game is the 8 seed in the playoffs. So right now, as far as seedings go, in the Eastern Conference, Miami is at number 1 at 44-22, Philadelphia at 40-24, Milwaukee 40-25, Chicago 39-26, Boston 39-27, Cleveland 38-27, Toronto 34-30, Brooklyn 33-33, Charlotte 32-34, Atlanta 31-33. And then just on the outside looking in, we have Washington at 29-34, New York 27-38, Indiana at 22-45. In the Western Conference, Phoenix is number 1 at 52-13. Memphis is 44-22. Golden State 43-22. The Utah Jazz 40-24. The Dallas Mavericks 40-25. Denver Nuggets 39-26. Minnesota Timberwolves 37-29, the Clippers 34-32, the Lakers 28-36, the Pelicans 27-37, and then just on the outside looking in with those, Portland Trailblazers 27-39, San Antonio Spurs 25-40, and the Kings 24-34. So right now we have in the Eastern Conference Toronto playing Brooklyn for that 7 seed. And then Charlotte, Atlanta playing to play in the 8 seed game. Minnesota Clippers playing each other for the 7th seed in the Western Conference, and then the Lakers and Pelicans. If Zion can come back for that, just imagine the Lakers taking on LeBron taking on Zion. That'd be a crazy game. If you believe that sports is scripted, then you should believe that is the case, that game is going to happen. Whether it's the 9-10 or the 8 winner of 9 and 10 or something, whatever. I think it's going to happen, but not because sports is scripted. It's not scripted. All right, and then we do have some games going on right now in the NBA. We did have already the Nets beat the Hornets 132-121. The Cavaliers beat the Pacers 127-124. The Suns beat the Magic 102-99. Playing right now the Pelicans and the Grizzlies. The Grizzlies are currently winning, probably going to win that game 114-86. And then the Bucks are beating the Thunder 90-78. On a game that is happening in an hour, or not in an hour and 25 minutes. The Clippers are taking on the Warriors. So some fun, exciting games happening right now. They might be fun and exciting. Then one should be fun and exciting game happening very, very soon. Next, we are going to be talking about, I clicked the wrong button. This is the right button. The NFL, the National Football League. A lot of stuff happened today. I'm trying to think if anything happened before that I wanted to talk about. Not really that I can think of off the top of my head. But definitely a lot that we want to talk about today, right now. Biggest news, it was reported early this morning, Aaron Rodgers is staying with the Green Bay Packers. There wasn't any news about contract extension, stuff like that immediately. But this, of course, today being the last day for teams to apply the franchise tag, he was wanting to get something. He was wanting to let the team know before, so they knew what they were going to do with Davante Adams. Aaron Rodgers is staying, and he has officially signed a contract now. Before you can correct me in the comments, it was reported later in the day. He signed a 4-year extension. I want to say it's like $500 million. I know it's a lot of money. He's going to be one of the highest paid players in the NFL, which he should. He's a 4-time MVP, 2-time straight MVP winner. I don't remember if I talked about the awards or not. Well, there you have it. I just lost. Aaron Rodgers won the MVP again this year. Shortly after that happened, like minutes after this happened, We got reports that Russell Wilson is going to be traded. He's currently with the Seattle Seahawks. Looks like he's going to the Denver Broncos. Of course, all of this depends on if he passes his physical. They were saying it also depended on if he agreed to the trade because he does have a no trade clause, so he can decide to waive it if he wants to. Which I know last offseason he had like the list of 4 teams that he would accept a trade for. Denver was on there. I'm assuming he accepted the trade because there were talks about it early this morning. Then a couple hours later, it was confirmed. Granted, this is pending on a physical, and it won't be official until March 16th. In the trade, Seattle is sending to Denver Russell Wilson and a 4th-round pick. Denver is sending to Seattle quarterback Drew Lock, tight end Noah Fant, defensive lineman Shelby Harris, 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks, and a 5th-round pick. So 5 total picks are going to Seattle, and then of course 1 is going to Denver. Makes me kind of wonder what they're going to do with Teddy Bridgewater. I am always a fan of if you have a decent quarterback and you get a star, keep your decent quarterback, let him learn behind the star so he can be better, whether you use him for a trade or use him for the future of your team. You got to do one of the two. So hopefully they do that. My only issue with the trade is they got rid of Noah Fant. Everyone has said Denver is a quarterback away. And one thing is because they have great weapons. A wide receiver, Cortland Sutton and Jerry Jeudy. But then also having Noah Fant at tight end. A lot of most every team that has been successful has had at least 3 weapons. Really, the only one is Kansas City. They only have Tyreek and Travis. But Patrick always has a way of making his Byron Pringle, I think is his name, a household name. He's able to make these no-name receivers something to be reckoned with. So I'm a little upset that they got rid of one of their weapons, but when you have a chance to get Russell, you do just about anything to get Russell. And also is reporting that Melvin Gordon, their running back, is also re-signing with the team. This was his last year on the contract. Some more news as far as Seattle goes. Jonathan actually just broke this in a chat that the two of us are in. Seahawks are cutting Bobby Wagner, star linebacker, one of the best linebackers in the game today, not of all time, game today. Bobby Wagner is being cut. He will find a team very quickly as soon as the free agency market opens up. So that'll be very exciting. Another big thing coming out of the NFL today is Mike Williams, wide receiver for the Chargers, and the Los Angeles Chargers have agreed to a multi-year deal. I want to say it's like a 5-year deal. I could be very wrong on that, but I know he did just re-sign a new deal. So he is going to be a Charger for a little bit longer. You might be saying, Jacob, what are you doing? I'm adding something, so I had to quit talking so I could focus on that. That's it for the NFL that I can think of. Jonathan, let me know if I skipped something. USFL. USFL came back. This is the United States Football League. This is the spring league football. This is something I completely forgot about till right now. They did hold their draft recently. I believe it was 2 weeks ago. The USFL, I believe, has 8 teams. I could be very wrong on that. I'm looking for like that list that I had. They just had their draft. First round was all quarterbacks. Then they started doing defensive players, defensive linemen. So I did kind of want to break down a little bit, especially that first round draft. The very first pick of the USFL draft went to the Michigan Panthers, and they picked up a name I haven't heard in a while. Shay Patterson. He is the former quarterback of the Michigan Wolverines. Played under the Jim Harbaugh regime. Of course, never could beat Ohio State. They finally did that this year. But still, I think one of the better quarterbacks that they had. Yet Cowboys are likely to cut Amari Cooper. I'm pretty sure that is confirmed. Um, but of course, nothing's official till like actual free agency. And then him and Russ got drafted the same year. End of an era in Seattle. The Tanks are coming in Seattle. They are. I'm not gonna say officially rebuilding. Um, when Pete Carroll leaves before the season starts, that's when you know that they are officially rebuilding. Um, but I'm trying to remember. I don't think there's anybody left on the team who was on the Super Bowl winning team. Um, maybe like one of the rookies on the team. Maybe some like backups or offensive linemen, defensive linemen. The players that you don't really remember their name, but you're like, I know who you are. Um, but yeah, I know like they're made the Legion of Boom, definitely all gone. Earl Thomas, um, Richard Sherman, a couple other cornerbacks that they had there. Bobby Wagner was a part of that too. All gone. Because Tyler Lockett wasn't on that team. No. It's also going to be interesting to hear what happens if Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf are traded too. Well, of course, this is all speculation. Nothing I say is canon, so we'll see on that. But anyway, USFL, Shay Patterson, the number one draft pick. Number two, the Tampa Bay Bandits drafted Jordan Ta'amu. He played for Ole Miss for a while. I'm not gonna say I did great because I remember hearing him, but I don't remember anything about him. He was signed by the Chiefs and Lions, Washington football team, and Panthers practice squads. Never really did anything in the NFL, which I will say is one great thing about um, the USFL is you have all these players who didn't do anything in the NFL because they weren't good enough, really weren't even given a chance. Hey, here's your moment to prove everyone wrong. Relive some glory days. Um, the Philadelphia Stars drafted Brian Scott of Occidental College. Um, he was like one of the biggest names of potentially being drafted in the USFL. Next, we have the New Jersey General. They drafted Ben Holmes, Tarleton State quarterback. If anyone's confused, there is no state called Tarleton. Tarleton State is in the town of Stephenville, Texas, which is just outside of Weatherford, which is where I was born. Houston Gamblers drafted Clay Thorson, another quarterback from Northwestern. Come on, computer, scroll down. The Birmingham Stallions drafted Alex McGough out of Florida International. The Pittsburgh Maulers drafted Kyle Laletta from Richmond. The New Orleans Breakers drafted Kyle Slaughter of North Colorado. What a name, Slaughter. And that is it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep. 8 teams in the USFL. I know, I don't remember where he went, but he was drafted like in the 4th or 5th round. Paxton Lynch, former Denver Broncos quarterback, and Seattle Seahawks quarterback. So again, it's going to be awesome to see if these players can kind of relive some of those glory days. If we can have a PJ Walker or Taylor Heineke story due to the USFL. But now we're going to be talking about the NCAA basketball. First off, I do want to talk about the past for a little bit. Let's take a trip back to February 26th, a couple Saturdays ago. I believe that was a Saturday. We had something that has never happened in the history of college basketball, at least in the AP poll era, which was in the 80s. We had the top 6 teams, teams ranked 1 through 6. All 6 played in a day, and all 6 lost in a day. This is the first time that's ever happened. Most of the time when something like this happens, you usually have one of the teams not play, and so history isn't made. But all 6 played. At number 6, we had Kentucky. They lost to Arkansas, who's kind of been a great underdog story, 75-73, so barely edged them out. At number 5, we had Kansas. They lost to number 10 Baylor, 80-70. Number 4, Purdue lost to an unranked Michigan State, 68-65. Number 3, Auburn lost to number 17 Tennessee, 67-62. I just want to say Tennessee is a scary team. Watch out for them in the tournament. Number 2, Arizona lost to an unranked Colorado, 79-63. And then number 1, Gonzaga lost to number 23, St. Mary's, 67-57. Again, this is the first time that has ever happened. I'm not going to say the only time it might happen again. We'll see. But we're going to do something a little bit differently now. Used to, we would go and kind of talk about where everyone was ranked. We're not doing that anymore because the season is over. It doesn't matter what you're ranked. All that matters is your tournaments because most every team has 2 tournaments. Right now, we are getting into the conference tournament. And here next Sunday, we will have the national championship tournament. March Madness, the big 64 to 68 team technically, crazy tournament where anything could happen. Of course, the easiest way to make it to the tournament is to win your conference tournament. There are 32 conferences. Currently, we have a couple automatic bids, and I did not count them, so we're just going to say right now. The ASUN Conference, Jacksonville State. They won their championship today, March 8th. So they got their ticket into the championship, into the tournament. The Big South, Longwood, they got it a couple days ago. They won their conference tournament. Next, we have the Missouri Valley Loyola Chicago. Of course, one of the big underdog stories 3-4 years ago. A team that almost did not make it into, or was one of the last 4 outs by most analysts. Of course, they can't be the last 4 out because they are in. They just won their tournament. They did that March 6th, a couple days ago. The Ohio Valley, this was the first team to actually punch their ticket in. Murray State, another team who had not a great Cinderella story, but great story with Ja Morant, who is currently destroying teams in Memphis. The Southern, we have Chattanooga. They punched their ticket in yesterday. The Sun Belt, Georgia State, they won yesterday. And those are all the teams who have won their tournament. We do have quite a bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Looks like 7 happening either right now or later today. Go away. One is this turn. The American East Conference. We have the semifinals happening, which I forgot to close this one out. I just really wanted to talk about ones who had a championship game happening, but I'm already here. So this one, we have Vermont and Binghamton in one semifinal. And the other semifinal is UMBC versus Hartford. Of course, UMBC, you should know, they're the only 16 seed to ever beat a 1 seed when they beat Virginia. And I had like 3 brackets. Most of them had Virginia winning it all that year. So I was a little upset with that one. Next, we have the CAA Conference, which means something that Colonial Athletic Association. This one, it's Delaware versus UNCW. UNCW I've heard of, I just don't remember why. Delaware, that's where Joe Flacco went to play his college football. Next, we have the Horizon League. Wright State is taking on Northern Kentucky. That is happening very soon if it hasn't already started. Next, we have the Northeast Conference. Bryant is playing Wagner. These are two teams I don't. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't know who these are. Sacred Heart is like one of the big colleges here. Mount St. Mary's. LIU, I feel like I know, but I can't remember what the abbreviation stands for. Next, we have the Patriot League. Championship happening Wednesday. Navy is taking on Colgate. I'd make a joke, but it's too easy. Next, we have the Summit League. South Dakota State is taking on North Dakota State. South Dakota State's the Jackrabbits. Of course, this is the team I constantly called San Diego State. Constantly. Next, we have the WCC. This is confusing because it has women's and men's both together. The men's tournament, Gonzaga is taking on St. Mary's, which didn't work out for Gonzaga last time they played each other. So we'll see. Of course, this week is going to be crazy with all the tournaments. This Sunday is Selection Sunday when they actually reveal the bracket. So we will be breaking down the bracket a lot more often. And if I seem like I'm rushing through this, I am. That's going to be all I have today. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully, I'll see you all next week as we break down more of the crazy things that are happening in sports. I will kind of do a bracket breakdown next week. Have my predictions kind of break down every round one game at least for the most part that I can do, because I don't remember when those first 4 games are. But we will definitely be talking about the bracket a lot more in depth. And when we have crazy upsets, I will be kind of being like, did you see this crazy upset? I saw this crazy upset. But if you did like this video, please click that little thumbs up button. It means a lot to me. Also, subscribe to the channel. We do a lot of crazy stuff here. Aaron Knoll is just finishing up season 1 of Movie Battleground. He had an amazing tournament that he actually did regularly. It's amazing how people can do that. And that was our movie debate stuff. I compete, I judge, I've hosted a couple times, and even one time, Aaron started it, and I finished it because I am the closer. I am the greatest of all time, and that's what I'm here for. We also have Colton Roberts with the Supernova Show, where he talks everything geek related. I don't know what he's been talking about because Book of Boba Fett's over with, and the Peacemaker's over with. I imagine he's going to be talking about the Lord of the Rings TV show, The Ring of Power. I hope he does. You can guarantee I'm going to talk about it a little bit while on here doing my opening banter stuff. And then also our sister channel, TMG Trivia, where you have TM Geek. Kevin is almost finishing up with that tournament. He does have the championship match happening very soon that I'm going to help write, actually. So Joe Fairley, person who won the tournament, I don't remember if the championship game has been released, so I don't want to spoil that. If you want to know what I'm writing and know the answers to it, cash at me $50. $307 Jakob. That's YAHKOB. And we'll talk. But then also TMG Trivia. I run singles and teams. We're in the middle of the singles tournament. This week, you should be seeing a great match between Jeremy Adams and Robert Kastner. It's actually why I'm kind of rushing this, because I have to hop off this immediately to film that one. Very excited for that match too. Very excited. And also, we will kind of be taking a little break from the TMG singles tournament because I promised someone a number one contender match in TMG teams, which is another league that I run. Stephen Boyd, his brother Bruce Boyd, are taking on a secret team that I will not say until later. But please go to both channels, subscribe to both of them, and watch. It's some really cool stuff for the most part. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. I've been your 38th favorite dad in the family community, Papa West, Jacob West. Stay safe, make good choices, or don't. I don't care. Not your dad. But I could be your papa.